Yeah.
Hello and welcome to I guess like a revival of I Mustache You Something. So this is the revival of the revival. Today is February 23rd, 2026, and we have the great blessing of the great blizzard of 26 as the reason we all have nothing better to do than to record. I think it's been like a month since we were here. All three of our fans texted me and said, "Where are you guys at? Like, why aren't you recording?" And I said, we got stuff to do. How are you guys? Welcome back.
I missed
Mitch?
all of you.
I miss Mitch the most because I've had the blessing of seeing Sharif quite a bit, and I've been in touch with Ralph. Mitch, how are you?
I'm good, busy, but good. Work has been crazy, but that's all right.
Like good busy, bad busy?
Bad busy.
So what's bad busy in your job?
Um, I'm trying to think what I can actually say on the internet. Nothing.
Everything's great.
Everything's great.
It's yeah. Yeah, there's a, a joy in silence sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay. So what's been on your mind, guys? Like what are we talking about today?
I need to go through our. I mean, we had so many topics, like random topics pop up via on our group chat here.
The American hockey team.
We can talk about that. That's a good example of America.
America?
Um,
America.
it's
So
pronounced America.
America.
America. What about it, Ralph?
No, I mean they won. They beat the Canadians.
Yeah, but so
Yeah,
did the women. And
yeah.
did you see this thing where Donald Trump calls the men and says, I want you guys to come to the State of the Union. You guys are awesome, blah, 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 blah. You know what else he said?
Yeah, he said he's
The
putting the
women.
women on the plane because he has to, otherwise he'll get fired or sued.
Yeah, he's like, sorry guys, I have to invite the women also because they won
It's
the
a
gold medal.
joke, bro. You people can't take a man's sense of humor. The man has a sense of humor. Just
Okay, but
let it.
like, I don't like, so Mitch has the discretion to say like, in order for this to get me in trouble, someone has to tell someone who has to tell someone that I said something that was like anything but like my job is the best and I'm so grateful to be where I am. Like if Mitch on a podcast watched by three people, um, that just lives in like some uninhabited corner of the internet has the discretion and this like forgive me Mitch but like I'll put myself in that category. Mitch and I are not like diplomatic people where we're like, "Ooh, we're really careful about what we say." Like I just had a conversation with someone yesterday about like, listen, like if you have to turn the microphone off when you say something because you don't want it to be recorded, you should probably turn the mouth off and not say it, right? Assume that whatever you're going to be saying, someone's going to overhear it and you're going to get in trouble for it. So if you find yourself going, I wonder how this is going to land, you shouldn't say it. So,
Yeah.
Well,
like,
you and Mitch, you have bills to pay.
okay, but like, one way or another, you have a sense of responsibility, right? Whether it's a fiduciary responsibility to your family that they're going to go hungry if you get fired from your job, or just like a respect for your office, that there is a responsibility. And if you're president of the United States and everything you say is under a microscope and everything is recorded, then maybe having some sense of like, let me pretend to like women. Let me pretend not to be a misogynist. Let me
So
pretend to care.
I personally completely agree. However, I think it's an improvement over the presidents we've had that were on the Epstein files. So like, I agree. There's lots more room for improvement, but like, we're doing a little bit better than we were 25 years ago, 26 years ago.
I thought he was in the Epstein files. He's not.
No, he
Well,
is. He
not
is.
with
I'm
Okay, so
women.
making,
how is this an
yeah.
improvement?
Well,
Yeah,
not for
and I
going to
think
Pedo Island. That's the difference.
that's
He didn't
true.
go to Pedo Island like Clinton did. And if you rank that amongst all the horrible things that he has said, that comes down to zero. And
Yeah, I
and
Ar-
agree. I agree.
Arguing
and the
against
man's
myself
not a
is
misogynist.
his entire staff went to Epstein Island. So you know what? Listen, I'll pox upon all the houses.
I mean, I had that same reaction where they were like, "Oh, can you believe what he said? Listen to the recording." And I watched it and I was like, "This is like the nicest he's ever been."
He's actually inviting the women. This is crazy.
Right,
Um,
exactly. It's like, like that's I mean, like I know that like he didn't deliver it the best way, but like,
yeah,
they're invited and they
yeah.
declined. You guys see that? They
You need to
declined the
listen to
invitation.
Egyptian politicians then.
The women did
Yeah, they're not going.
really
Yeah,
interesting, but the men are going.
obviously.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that they did. There's a woman on that team who's from a town close to mine that I know for a fact that town went 95% one way. So unless I wonder if I mean it's so just I wonder if how the decision was made on the team, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Not my problem. Somebody else's problem. Can we talk about the Sharifisms? We've been chatting about it in the background, but I wanted Sharif to know.
Yeah.
I got into a big argument with someone
Okay.
recently. Someone of my superiors asked for a thing that was blatantly not useful
Mm-hmm.
to me and to like the work. However, I parked the mule where the master wants it,
Great
even though
Egyptian boy.
that even though that mule was parked over a cliff and fell off the cliff, but I parked it. So I
Did you get a
we
promotion?
not the place I work, the industry I work in, the best way to get promotion is to leave and then go somewhere else and then come back if you want more money.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you are a good Coptic Egyptian boy now.
I was very annoyed. The farm boy in me was like, you can't do this. This is gonna kill the cows. If you forget to like continue the
Well,
animal metaphor.
listen. The American civilization is 500 years ago. The Egyptian is 7,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have a lot of wisdom in it about the mule.
Yeah.
So let's review. Like one is tie the mule or the donkey where the owner wants it. Number
Mhm.
two, do you guys remember what number two is?
Whoever loves the prophet, let him push the car.
اللي يحب
Ever,
ينبي الذوق. All right, so whoever loves the prophet, let him push. So whoever's got like, any dog in this fight, any kind of motivation,
Go
like
ahead.
do whatever it is that you can to move things forward. And then number three,
The good woman will sew with a donkey leg.
right. So
what?
the
الشاطرة
الشاطرة.
تغزل برجل حمار.
Yeah. So like she's trying to sew and like, mend some fabric. And if she has to do it with a donkey leg, and it's obviously like, for the English language challenging, not just from the translation standpoint, but from the mixed metaphor standpoint, because there's two donkey metaphors. One, you're tying the donkey, and the other one, the donkey's dead, and you're taking its, femur as a sewing needle. Um,
My favorite Egyptian aphorism is "El kelb ما يهوهوش غير قدام بيته." That's my favorite one.
is that even true?
Yes, that means the dog doesn't bark unless he's in front of his own house.
Right, but is that even true? I'm pretty sure my dog would bark wherever.
Oh, I don't know. Ask the Egyptians. They came up with that.
I don't think they
Okay,
know
that
anything
was
about dogs.
Well, we
we're
have
getting off track.
that's the
We
same
got
design
two
in
more
Dubai.
Sharifs.
What?
Two more Sharifs. Keep going. I want to stay on these because they're interesting. We got two more Sharifs isms to go, right? There's five.
No, there's three. Those are the three.
There's only
There
three.
are the
I
three
thought it was
main, but
five.
there are
For the
other-
Trinity.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
I
which
updated
one?
the donkey to a mule for American audiences. We have no donkeys, but there are mules out there. So
the mule.
there you go.
Okay.
There's a couple of jackasses. I'm sure.
The
So
next
so
servant meeting
which
is
one do
not
you find
mule.
most interesting, Mitch?
I
I
think the
mean,
one that's most practical and like I wish, and which is why I did, I wish everyone did, which is just do what I say. Just do what I say. Just do it.
I've literally been doing
Trust.
that in like a capacity recently, and I was telling Mary, I was like, I never had this in me, and it
Mm.
has been so liberating and so beautiful just to be the yes sir guy. Like I'm not even like there's no like mental energy expended on is this a good idea? Is this bad idea? I'm just a conduit for, whatever's being yes sir, no sir, absolutely. Is that a great idea? Absolutely. Like whatever. Like there's no energy expended. It's amazing.
I think
But
the
guess what?
realization that you're not the main character in everybody else's story is
Yeah,
really helpful.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? While doing this, tying the mule, like you can change a lot of things because the master will not really understand how you tied him, where did you tie him. Like you can make some changes here, some changes there, and there is
Yeah.
a Coptic equivalent of this metaphor or sherifor called خدامك سيدنا.
I am your servant, your grace.
Yes, خدامك سيدنا. Once you say this, everything will. Anyway, you are on air. Anyway.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ralph, do you have anything
Well, a couple of days ago when Mina texted and said he wanted to talk to me, my first thought is, all right, I said something that has gotten me in trouble. I'll be honest. I was like, oh my God, I must have said something that someone has deemed either offensive, beyond repair, or something heretical. And I was bracing myself because this has happened to me in the past several times. So I was bracing myself for that call. I was like, oh, okay, it's not that call. I was relieved. I was like,
Yeah, no, I
thanks
mean,
be to God.
احنا لسه فيها, like it's still possible.
Still
Um,
possible.
What exactly did you say?
I don't know. I couldn't remember, but I was ready to defend everything that I've said.
actually, I was talking about you the other day, like in that capacity of like,
Oh no.
and I was saying how you defended the right to bear arms as if like you could care less. You were just defending the principle, like because I talked to you afterwards and you're like, oh yeah, no, I don't care about guns. But I care that some people care about guns. I'm like, but you're not one of them.
Actually, in that vein, we were just in Austin, and there is no minimum age where you can shoot a gun. So I took my son to a shooting range, and he shot a 22. He's 8 years old. He shot a 22, oh, it only gets worse. A 22, a 9 millimeter, a shotgun, and an AR-15. That's it.
What size shotgun?
That's the
Uh,
What
question
was
that
the,
you have.
I don't know. I can show you pictures. I
well,
don't know what the.
I'm just wondering about the kickback, right? On the
No, it
gauge.
was
Okay.
there was kickback, and it was a heavy
Yeah.
machine. So
Yeah.
he had trouble with that, but he
Sore
enjoyed
shoulder
it.
the next day. Yeah.
He enjoyed it, and
So he
they
shot an
have no.
AR-15.
He shot an AR-15, like they had like 7 rounds in it that they put in for him, and
Good.
he went to town with that. He was very happy. Everyone in Texas is like they all. It's amazing to see people. It's amazing to see how many guns there are just being walked around in the in the Bucky's or the in the CVS or something. People just they you know like we took a class first, a safety class with like about 10 or
Yeah.
15 other people, and I said something about Connecticut, and the instructor said, welcome to freedom. His was his was his take. He said welcome to
It's a good
freedom.
take. Good take, mate. Good take. Was it a good safety class? That's the concern I always have with those is it was like the level of safety class that they have. It's just really
Yeah.
important.
It was a 2 hour
Yeah.
safety class. I thought it was really
Oh,
good,
good.
just so he can
Yeah.
learn for himself that if he's ever in an environment too where someone has a gun, he was told all
Yeah.
these rules about what to do, even if you think it's empty, even if you know it's empty.
Oh,
Never point it, never put your finger on the trigger, never, it was
yeah.
I thought it was good. You know, it was good for me too. You know,
It's super important. Yeah,
I mean, you
super
just brought up
important.
shooting, that's why. So
I'm speechless.
I know I can tell by your face.
I don't even know where to start. So
Well, the kid injured his shoulder. He will come to you to fix it. So we'll see.
I,
We have some business here.
so I want to go back. So you guys mentioned earlier like the Epstein files and like pe people in a position of power, and I think what's happening in England specifically with the former Prince Andrew, who's the brother of current King Charles, and him potentially being sentenced to life in prison for misconduct. I think it's a level of transparency and it's a level of accountability that I'm like impressed with. And I think that comment of, welcome to freedom, right? Um, to me, like that gives me hope because it's not just about, the gun or like, the 8-year-old with the assault rifle or like, any of that. But this idea of valuing freedom and for me, we talked about, the relationship between free speech and the right to bear arms. But I think for me, where I am right now is the relationship between freedom and accountability. And I still disagree that you need the right to bear arms for free speech, but I think it is a more clear, tight relationship between accountability and freedom, right? Like if you have no sense of justice in any like whatever it is, like if it's in a household, right? If the dad is, not just like sort of overtly hypocritical as I am, but in a hypocritical in a gaslighting way, right? Where it's not like, oh, listen, like I was never that good and I hated my English classes, but you should take them seriously and get the best out of them and do better with English than I did. Um and that's openly hypocritical, but that's different than sort of this covert ops that you can get, right? Where it's like, no, no, I was perfect and I was great. Like that's a different kind of hypocrisy. But having an openness about, yeah, no, I'm not perfect and you're not perfect and we're not perfect. And there's consequences to being imperfect, but we all face these same consequences and it's not applied to some subgroup, but not another. Um,
What do you mean by accountability? I'm confused.
uh,
What do you mean by accountability and free speech? Like how are they
No, no,
related?
not accountability and free speech, but accountability and freedom, right? Like if you don't have a sense of justice where everyone is subject to the law, right? Where it's like, oh, blah, 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 everybody that's on the Epstein files gets blah, 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 unless you're, the brother of the King of England, right? So that, universal accountability piece, where you're not being unnecessarily critical of people in a position of leadership, right? Which is another, problem. But you're also not being um, unrestrictive in your acceptance of, whatever Abuna does, whatever the bishop does, whatever, the president does, whatever the, monarch does. Oh, the sibling of whoever, the spouse of whoever, the relative of whoever gets away with like sometimes literally murder,
Mhm.
right? Because they have this relationship. So if you don't have that accountability, that sense of justice, that to me is at least for me, like the number one non-negotiable for freedom.
So by that definition, we don't have freedom in the US, right? Because I would argue that, I mean, Ludnick is going to get away with everything. Like it's not, no one's going to be, it's all good, man. He's going to keep his job. He's going to continue to short the tariff, insurance bet. He can do whatever he wants. Even
I don't know
though
that story. Tell us about that story.
so Ludnick, our you know esteemed uh, secretary of what is he? Secretary of some. He's in charge of the tariffs. He's in charge of like finance, making all of like the decisions. Tariffs being the main one. Um, he dined out. He went post conviction. He went to have lunch. He took his yacht to have lunch on Epstein's island. Is
Hmm.
in the Epstein files significant. Not just him and his kids. He took to Epstein Island,
Him, his
and
four
then
children, his wife, and his nannies.
and he lied about ever hanging out with them, and like a significant amount of just like BSing. But there will be no he appeared in front of Congress to explain himself, yada yada. But there will be no consequence because to this, in my opinion, this administration is bought and paid for by the donor class, by little tech. So no big deal. So it'll be fine.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you're whoa, whoa, whoa. You're comparing the prince
Yeah, that's
pretty
fair.
who had pretty illicit sexual relations with at least young women, if not minors. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
And Lutnick, who at the very in the best of spins, forgot about his lunch and his business dealings, and at worst lied about them.
yeah.
So that's, I mean, those are, we're talking about two different
Distasteful
animals,
versus criminal.
right?
Distasteful versus criminal.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's fair.
And
Reed Hoffman. How much is Reed Hoffman in there?
yeah, Reed Hoffman's all over the place, but because but we never hear of him because you don't even hear about him. So
Yeah,
and Bill and Hillary are about to testify in March, I think it is, and we're
yeah,
going to see how much either denial they go down to or they, I don't know. So I mean, the accountability part is, hey, listen, if you committed crimes, you should, I mean, I'm against the death penalty except for, dealing with kids. Um,
yeah.
but I think there's a lot of people who are going to get away with a lot of things in the United States. And I think the sacrificial lamb of Prince Andrew is sort of like he's an old man anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
I
you know
think
what?
that's
Do it act. Yeah.
I
Do what
think that's
actually
just a
pisses me
show.
off?
Yeah.
Makes me very upset is that the people who continue to cover up today, the
Right.
DOJ, our elected representative arm of the elected representatives that like are here to like take care of deal with this, covered it up, lied about it,
Yeah, they did.
then released it, half
Right.
released it, and continued to lie about it. To
Right.
me, the lack of a free society, like proof that we are a global empire with Byzantine everything, we are Byzantium, is this case.
Right. Like
Yeah.
Patel and Bondi should be fired because they lied. They looked
And
at the
arrested.
American people and they just lied and said, there's nothing there. We gave you everything. I mean, that's just bold-faced lying. So they should, at the very least, be fired from their positions. And their failures
They
anyway in what they've done.
they should be released to West Virginia hollers to walk around and see what happens.
You should come to Egypt.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because this is just Tuesday.
Yeah, so and I think that's a fair point. Like,
Well,
does Western society or Western culture, as made up versus Oriental culture, actually have values and rights and like do we have a social contract or has it all been fake?
no, you have. You have
And
a very strong
he
social contract. You have a very strong social contract, and if you say we don't have freedom in the states, that's very like I
yeah,
totally disagree because
yeah,
everything in life is relative.
yeah, interesting.
Everything is relative. The only freedom, and we are Christian, the only freedom is with Christ.
Mm,
Pure, simple, to the point.
mm,
All of this is relative. The Western society has some Christian values, and they are true Christian values. They're trying to reach the full stature of Christ with a lot of corruption. But compare it to
Yeah. To
compare
make
it to
America great
China
again, everyone needs to go to Egypt for a couple months, then come back.
or
And
China
then this like everything's like, wow, this is
or
amazing.
Yeah,
Iran.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, go to Iran, go to
Yeah.
Hezbollah, southern Beirut, go to China, come to Egypt a little bit. And when I'm in Egypt, I said, okay, yeah, we have this and this, but we are not Hezbollah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
So
similar to what we just said about Donald Trump, right? Where like he said,
yeah,
I have to invite the women's team or else I'm gonna get impeached. And like people want to be up in arms. Meanwhile,
that's
like
nonsense.
number one, he's inviting the women's team. Number two, like
There's a women's team.
like there's a lot of good there that
Yeah.
like
Oh
There's the women's
yeah.
team.
There is a women's team. While
right.
in Iran, Afghanistan, there is no women's team.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, like which one of those is the greater evil? Is it the greater evil to accept, for example, like low key or high key misogyny, because it's not as bad as, you know, like just straight up degradation of women? Or is it the bigger crime to expect too much of fallible people and then, you create like a fake society where everybody's like virtue signaling, like to Ralph's point just now about like what they did with Prince Andrew, like like are we really moving the needle on ethics
Right.
letting this guy like is
Yeah.
like what have we really accomplished other than for like guys like me, who love to see good in the world, to be like, wow, the British monarchy, like, forget everything that they did in Africa and forget everything they did in India and forget everything, like this historically, like really, really, really awful organization now has turned a new corner because letting this guy, get his comeuppance. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know which one of those is the greater evil. I know which one I tend to, but I'm wondering if
Which one do you tend to?
I definitely tend to the like we need to get it right. And if someone says the right thing the wrong way, then they need to be reminded, like, hey, like just careful how you say that. Because you said the right thing, and I agree with you, and I get what your intent is. But if we're gonna get this not just pretty close, but if we're gonna get this right, you should be cautious about not just what you say, but how you say it. And that's just me. Like, and I don't hold anybody to a standard that I don't hold myself to. And I am crystal clear that I'm the one that's like the poster boy for making the mistakes, right? Like I will say something and be like, no, that's not, I didn't actually, I'll tell you guys a funny story the other day. I was talking to Mary and I was really trying my best. I was trying to listen, and I've had some recent experiences like dealing with certain individuals that are poor listeners, and like I'm really trying to lean into like being a good listener in my marriage and like being attentive and whatever. And I was like, my best is just really not very good. And she was getting frustrated with me that I wasn't listening. And I was like, honey, I'm really trying my best, but like you have to understand, like you're still married to a man. And she misheard me and she said, did you say that I'm married to the man? I was like, no, 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 no.
No,
Like
she heard you right. She heard you correctly.
I was like, no, no, no. I would never say that like that. I find that humiliating just to even hear out loud. Like, thank you that this is what you think, because clearly, like, it's ingrained in your mind. Like, I'm flattered by that, but like, I would never think that way or say that. I meant a man, not as in like something that raises me up and like, oh, I'm the man, I'm the man. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like we are the lowest common denominator in terms like your dog is a better listener than your husband. Like that's it's
Yeah.
just, you know.
Let me
So
tell you
yeah, like
something
but I think
about
setting that
former.
standard of like we need to be better listeners, even though we're not very good, that's the direction I lean, and I don't know if that's unfair.
But let me tell you something about former Prince Andrew. This earthquake, whether it's a sacrificial lamp or not, has its impact in other parts of the world, like where way more corrupt authorities and responsible are shaking now,
Right.
which is a good thing. And this is a movement from 70% freedom to 71% freedom, or
Exactly. Exactly.
some,
Exactly.
yeah.
And when you say like go to Egypt and it's like 17% freedom, okay, but like I hope that Egypt next year is 18%, right? Like moving that needle, and this is what Teilhard de Chardin, the Catholic theologian from like the early 20th century, was saying, if Christ is the Alpha and the Omega, and everything that God created is being created with this omega point in mind, where we're trying to get to the fulfillment, the eschaton of everything being perfected in the way that God created it. And we are agents in that, right? We are co-creators with God, right? Like we have the agency to say, like, no, like we're not doing that. We're going to do the wrong thing, right? We are invited to be part of our world getting to that omega point and getting to that perfection, right? And that doesn't happen if you say, Yanni, it's not so bad.
Yeah, but I think you can over correct that way.
I
You
agree.
know,
I
I
agree. And
mean,
that's what I'm questioning, right? Is where do you find that balance between the yes, we want to be agents of good, at the same time, do not be sanctimonious about it. Do not be, high horse about it. Do not be like so judgmental that you're losing, the high regard that you should have for everyone, including Donald Trump, right? Like regarding him as a person and respecting him as a person and appreciating something about him as a child of God is a Christian responsibility, whether you like it or not.
Well, appreciating him destroying Iran is a Christian responsibility. Absolutely.
Wait, what? I think that was a Sharif deadpan like
No, no,
what
no.
was what did he say? I didn't.
some like this was a Sharif assault.
Oh my God, that was awesome. I mean, I completely disagree, but
Well,
the
What
way
did
he
he
flipped it
say
in
though?
was
What about
was
Iran?
beautiful.
appreciating him trying to destroy Iran is a human, moral, Christian achievement.
Like Afghanistan, like that really worked out
No,
well
no,
for
no,
us.
no, no. Real
Like
destruction.
Iraq, that really
No,
worked
no.
out well
Real
for us.
destruction. Real destruction.
No,
Hitler
no,
destruction.
no. Like the Crusades.
Hitler. No, no.
Whoa,
Hitler
whoa,
destruction.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Careful with the Crusades, bud. Careful with the Crusades.
No, 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 no.
Listen, 100% justified. There
It's
is
okay.
nothing wrong with Crusades other than the fact that we didn't go hard enough. But the
Anyone.
We'll
Iranians
talk
have,
about Crusade another time, but but like you see a Nazi system and you are playing around doing deals, and I assume everyone knows that I'm a leaning Democrat, but it's not. Iran need to be destroyed. Hitler destruction. Hezbollah
Hmm.
needs to be destroyed.
how does that, but a question, I have a question on that.
Mm.
What's the benefit to the empire that is US for destroyed Iran?
You are preventing another Hitler, a way worse monster than Hitler.
What is
Yeah,
that?
but we
You're talking
didn't,
about Islam being worse than
No,
Hitler?
no, 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 no. I'm talking not about Islam. No, I'm very clear about this, about the Iranian regime.
How are you relating the old beat up, analogy to Hitler with the Iran? Like the Iranians can never be. Can you explain more what you mean by Hitler?
Yeah,
Are you being
why?
facetious? I can't read you.
No,
no, he's
what?
being serious.
No,
You're
no,
being
I'm being
serious?
very serious. I'm being very serious. Why the United States like entered World War II to defeat the Nazis? Not because of Pearl Harbor, because of threat of humanity. When you have an insane moron, uh, div- pseudo divinely inspired emperor want to take over
Look at Mina's smile.
and destroy everything.
I am empathetically feeling Mitch's discomfort and the discomfort of not like the people that like the three people that watch, but like the person who like stumbles upon this and like sends it to somebody else, and then this goes viral, and Mitch and I end up in some sort of like tribunal going like, so these war crimes that you're advocating, like, like
No,
we
no, no.
didn't advocate anything. Like
Not a war
he said,
crime.
I didn't say anything, but you didn't
It's
tell
not a war
him
crime.
that it's bad.
No, 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 no.
So
Killing
what could Iran do in unchecked Iran? What is your worst case scenario?
unchecked Iran, total invasion of Iran, of Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Egypt, Yemen, threatening the Gulf, threatening our country in Egypt, and then moving to invade the whole Northeast, moving to make allies with alliance with Afghanistan, Pakistan, and
So
threatening
Saladin, but in reverse, from
what?
Babylon versus from Cairo. So Saladin, but from Babylon versus Cairo. From
Something like that.
Baghdad versus Cairo. Okay,
Something like that.
interesting.
Go to Lebanon and see what Iran is doing. A beautiful country,
So you think
beautiful
Trump
people.
has a moral obligation to destroy the Iranian regime?
If he does this, I will support him. Absolutely. Whether he do it for oil, whether he do it for
Israel.
relations with Saudi
Israel.
Arabia, whether he do it for Israel, but in the bigger scheme of events, from a person who really understands the history of the Middle East and the danger of a religiously biased, pseudo divine inspired leader like Khomeini and Ayatollah Khamenei and all of those things, you cannot stop this. You cannot stop this. Have you ever met a Muslim Brotherhood leader?
Morsi.
No, no, met him in person and
Oh,
sat and talked.
person? No, no.
I have. And all of this pseudo divine inspiration are crazy morons. And you can have the same in Christianity. And we had the same in Christianity before.
Name one.
But we repented. Like,
Name one.
well, some of them are still living. So,
So you don't you don't see Iran as a paper tiger. You see it as a real threat to
absolutely. Absolutely. To the whole humanity.
So we have 1 minute.
Iran
So
is an existential threat to the United States.
To the humanity in general, and in turn, United States.
Wow.
Well, the regime in Iran.
Yeah, the
Iranian
regime.
people are beautiful, are
Yeah.
actually very
I
nice.
have to go. I gotta go to hit the road, but this you
really,
guys
like
should
we can't
continue.
keep going.
No,
We
I
gotta
have to
keep
go.
going, Mitch.
Guys, I told you my timelines. I was very clear about when I can, when I can't, and I in the chat, and I was communicating properly because I
I
was
thought you said you
scolded.
could go till 8. No.
No, 7. Did I say 8? No, I
I
did.
said before 8. I said before 8.
He
You
said
said
before 8.
8.
You're welcome to keep going,
Can
and
we
because I
keep
would
going
love,
and
I'll
then
leave
you watch
everyone.
it and then we
please,
come back?
yes,
Okay,
because this is.
I'm gonna keep nudging this.
Can someone point out that Sharif's equivalency of why World War II started is so beyond the